Bowman.
Here.
Baker. Lynch. SBA. Thibodeau. Cox. Williams.
Here. All right.
Form, Mr. President.
All right. We have the invitation by Mr. Smith, pledged by the chair. Mr. Chairman.
Oh, yeah, let's go with these gentlemen.
All right. Oh, no, I just want, well, no, however you want the invocation. I just wanted to ask if we would say a prayer for Robert Petrus, our Veteran Service Officer. His wife passed upon Friday.
Oh, really?
That's all I want.
And one of you gentlemen like to say the pledge for us? Charles? Mr. Davis?
Heavenly Father, we come to you today thanking you for the freedom that we have. We thank you, Father, for all of our military who served us so faithfully. We pray especially for Mr. Petrus and the loss of his family. Father, just give us the knowledge that we need to do your business today, and may everything we do bring glory to your name. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Come to the microphone, please. Here. Yeah. Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I said the pledge once.
Nobody got married on for another day.
Yeah.
Any agenda additions? Don't see any. Citizens' comments. Citizens who wish to address the commission must fill out a comment card and forward it to the president or the clerk of the commission. Comments by any citizen will be limited to 3 minutes. I got Charles W. Davis. Want to speak to us, sir? Give us your name and address. Okay, go ahead and give us your name and address, and go ahead and address us on whatever it is you want to talk to us about.
Gentlemen, ladies, my name is Charles Davis. I'm Vice Commander of American Legion Post 14 here in Shreveport. I also am a state juvenile probation officer. The American Legion is involved with many fundraisers and programs, and a lot of it's programs for the kids. As most of you know, probably, we do American Legion baseball. We have the Scout Hut. We have a Scout Troop that we sponsor. We do Easter egg hunts for kids, and we do a lot for the veterans. And we live off of funds and donations. We have fundraisers constantly, and we're constantly begging people for money, which we don't like to do, but that's what we have to do. We're a non-profit organization. And I'm here this evening to ask you for help with our Boy State program. We are trying to send 21 kids from the state, from the local high schools. We have interviews and academics, and we try to get the cream of the crop. They go to Northwestern State University for 1 week. They have to be in good physical health. There they learn government, leadership. They actually set up their own city government and the state government, and go through the process while they're there. So it's a good cause. It also gives them eligibility for scholarships. There's an $18,000, a $16,000, and $14,000 scholarship available. And basically that's about it in a nutshell. Any questions?
Is that the same as Pelican Boy State and Pelican Girl State?
Yes.
That's the same program?
Yes. Yes, the auxiliary handles Girls State.
Mr. Williams?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say to this Legion, the microphone on post number 14, I think they're located on Lakeshore Drive, South Lakeshore. Early in my career, I was a Shreveport firefighter, and your organization put individuals from this area in for a recognition for their service in the community.
Would you mind speaking up a little bit? I have a hearing problem.
Yes, sir. Your organization put individuals in Northwest Shreveport in for local and statewide awards. And one of the awards I've received as a firefighter, the first African-American received Firefighter of the Year for the state of Louisiana. It was the McFarland Post who recognized the work and the talent that I was doing in the community. Commissioner Ken Evers and I was fighting drugs and gangs in the middle of the streets. He was in Cedar Grove and I was in Lakeside and Allendale. And I want to just publicly thank you. I never had an opportunity to thank you for that recognition you gave me over those years. And I know the work that you do. First of all, you put your lives on Front Street for us to have the freedoms and the safety that we have in America. So we can never pay you for that, for the rights and privilege that we have. So quite naturally, when you come before asking for something to help children and our youth, I want to let you know you have my 110% support. And
I
thank you
appreciate
for the
that
work
very
you
much.
do.
We
Thank you
try,
so much.
we try our best to do the things we can, and we also, obviously, we cater to our veterans as much as possible. We're getting to the point now where most of us are getting so old we don't function so well anymore. But we try to get more and more people within our organization. We're presently trying to get the active duty people to join because they are eligible at this point.
So I'm a veteran too. I serve in the Army as a military police.
Now, I thank you for your service.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. I don't know if that Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Back in 1985, I had the opportunity to go to Louisiana Board State, and it is an experience that you will never forget. And I'm totally 100% in favor of this ordinance, and when it comes up, I will support it.
Well, I appreciate that. I tried to find some that attended last year, but the thing I ran into, it seems like most of them involved in sports, and this time of the year, they're all constantly playing ball. So.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mr. Escobar now.
I just have a couple of questions. You can send 21 young men from Caddo Parish?
Yes, sir.
All from Caddo Parish?
Yes, sir.
And you're asking us to pick up the cost of that, the total cost of that, at $300 per head?
The parents have to pay $85. And if we run into any situations where the parents can't handle the $85, of course, we'll do something for that. But yes, it's a 21 from the high schools in Shreveport and the outlying area, of course, in the parish. And we let the schools give us names of the people or the top people that they have. Then we go interview those people, and then we pick from that. Normally, by the time the schools have interviewed them, they have the best there for us.
This is the first time that y'all have requested this money.
This is the first. This is the first
You're
time.
having trouble raising funds as of late? I mean,
Well, the problem I had this year is the gentleman that usually handles this program. He does it every year. He's become ill and he's been in the hospital for over 2 months, and then we doubt that he's going to come out of it. And so I had to pick it up at a late date. And so with a late date, I got to looking at places that I hope's the easiest place to obtain some funds. And with Mr. Escaday came over speaking to us at our general meeting the other night, it gave me the idea I need to approach y'all.
okay. Ken and I are like Forrest and Bubba. We cool?
Yeah, y'all have a hairline.
We're in a shrimping business together.
So you had problems with your fundraising efforts for this year. My question is, are you going to want us to do this next year?
Say again?
Are you going to want us to do this next year?
Probably. I'll have to be honest with you, probably, yes.
But it seems like it's a Caddo Parish Commission sponsored thing, not an American Legion sponsored thing.
Well,
You follow me?
believe me, we incur quite a bit of cost going through this stuff.
I know you do. My father went to Boy State in 1946.
Yeah, okay.
My daughter went to Girl State in 2004.
Oh, good.
And returned as a counselor a couple of years. So familiar with the program. But I'll be happy to support your request. But I'm taking that into account that you've had a rough year and your guy had difficulties. I hope that we wouldn't have to continually fund this 100% in the future, because like I said, then it's a Caddo event, and we certainly want the credit to be with the American Legion. Thank you.
Well, the thing next year, if I continue to do it, which I'm hoping I will, we'll have more time. I'll get started a lot earlier, and then maybe we won't have to, come to request so late and so fast. So.
Need to get some of these younger 20-something veterans, war veterans involved. I know it's hard, but, maybe I need to, just have a disco night or something for whatever it is they do. I mean, there's a fresh crop of youth out there who could pick up the ball. You just got to figure out how to get them engaged.
Well, let's hope that these young people that we send to Boise State come back and become city leaders or state leaders, and they have their children do the same.
I would hope so, and I was fine with it, but now that Mr. Johnson indicated he went to Boise State, I'm a little suspect.
It worked both ways.
And you're welcome to accompany us if you'd like. You can come down for a week.
Okay, Mr. Davis, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you.
All right. Our next speaker, Superman Blunt.
Not here, is he?
Give us your name and address, please. You have 3 minutes.
Robert Superman Blunt, P.O. Box 80165, Shreveport, Louisiana 71148. Just wanted to come back through and thank this great commissioner for your support of the Fit for Life weekend. We gave you a little pamphlet so you can take a look at some of the events and things that are going to be taking place during that weekend. We're going to have a plethora of events involving Caddo Parish kids and adults from all over the northwest Louisiana. We're going to start that Wednesday, May 9th at Independence Stadium, where we do our Fit for Life weekend kickoff with over 7,000 DARE kids. We'll be bringing in kids from DeSoto Parish, Bossier, and Caddo Parish 5th grade kids. I'd like to invite all of you all out to take a look at this. It's an amazing event where we introduce kids to all different type of fitness, health, and things of that nature. On Thursday, we're going to be honoring a young man from Caddo Parish who graduated from Green Oaks in 1973, Mr. Ezra Johnson, who went on to play NFL football with the Green Bay Packers. Kind of a forgotten guy, so we're going to bring him back here home to Shreveport. We're going to honor him. We're going to retire his jersey. We've already met with the Green Bay Packers. They're going to send his number 90 jersey that he played in, and we're going to do a big thing for him here in our city. On Friday, all of you will receive an invitation to our Fit for Life luncheon that will be held at the El Dorado Casino Ballroom. If you haven't received that invitation yet, it will be coming. We will have a reserved seat for all of the commissioners to come in and to be a part of the luncheon. Dr. Dawkins, Gerald Dawkins will be speaking, and also Ezra Johnson will be our guest. And then on Saturday will be the kickoff of the Fit for Life weekend with all the events going on throughout the city. Thousands and thousands of athletes from all over the world is going to be coming into the city and doing a great thing. What I did was I bought a commercial that should start running on television tomorrow. It'll be all over TV. We're already advertising over 6 radio stations now, all the things that we're doing. So if I can, I'd like for you all to kind of watch the screen and watch the commercial. Thank you.
Join us for Louisiana's biggest fitness competition and expo, May 12th at the Shreveport Convention Center, featuring the American Strongman competition seen on ESPN, IFBB Pro Bodybuilding competition, and the National NPC Figure competition. The expo floor opens at 8 a.m. and tickets are $20 and include the American Strongman competition. IFBB Pro Bodybuilding and NPC Figure finals begin at 7 p.m. and tickets are $35 for general admission. The Fit for Life weekend, May 12th.
And that's what will be starting up for the next 2 weeks, all over television. And we put a lot of effort into it, a lot of work into it. I want to thank the city of Shreveport. I want to thank this great commission for blessing us and helping us with the finances to move this forward, and I'm open for any questions if anybody have any at this time.
Got Ms. Lynch?
I want to know what day those booty butt girls are going to be there so I can keep my man at home.
What?
Certainly, this I've never been. I've, talked with you about it last year, but
Yes, ma'am.
it looks to be something that is going to be really, really huge. And I appreciate you making sure that Caddo Parish's contributions have been acknowledged and everything that you all are sending out. And a couple of weeks ago, they were getting on me about having pink petameters, but I see you have the pink Fit for Life. So that goes perfectly. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Ms. Williams?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I too would like to thank you for the exposure you're bringing to the Caddo Bolger Shreveport community, and also the tourism you're going to be bringing to the area to fill up our hotel, to spend money in our community and our restaurants, and enjoy Shreveport Museum and all the outdoor excitement we have here. But one of my concerns is we have a national epidemic with obesity with our children, and their eating habits have gone because of technology, computers, and the TV has taken over our young people. They don't get an opportunity to get out and play in the playground like we did when I was a little boy. And one of the most exciting things about going to school was getting that free lunch program. That got me off to school. But however, what are you doing to try to combat obesity with our schools and in our community? Someone need to take the lead and work on that, because our kids can't learn first of all, they can't learn when they're starving.
That's right.
And they really can't learn when they're unfit and unhealthy.
That's right.
So is there any movement to address that epidemic, not only just in America, but here locally? What are we doing?
Yes, sir. What we're doing is Fit for Life Incorporated. We have a program where we're working with Representative Williams on the Odyssey program over at Oak Park Elementary. And we've been doing research, working around with LSU, Medical Center, and the Picard Medical Center, Baton Rouge, Pennington Biomedical Center, that monitors obesity throughout the state. And what we're doing now is working with 4th, 5th, and 6th grade kids. Last year we had an opportunity to work with 4th and 5th graders. Because of the scheduling of the kids this year, we've only been able to work with 6th grade kids. And what we're doing is weighing these kids, starting to get them on a good eating program, teaching them the benefits of proper eating and the importance of exercising. And I like that, Commissioner Williams, because what we've got to do is readjust the thinking of the society. What was once natural to us is just unnatural to our kids, and it's not their fault. It's just the way life is changing with the computer age. But it is our responsibility to keep the right things in front of them: proper eating, good nutrition, and during the Fit for Life weekend, the reason why I have so many different events. It might be a kid who can't play basketball, but he might like baseball. Kid might not like baseball or basketball, but the CrossFit tournament might be something exciting. I might have a kid who's not a sprinter, but he might be genetically strong, so the American strongman might do something to motivate him. When I was in the 3rd grade, I saw a young man walk out of his backyard with his shirt off. And when I looked at his body, it changed my life. I said, wow, that's what I would like to do. And I eventually went on to become one of the greatest bodybuilders in the country. Just by exposing these children to this type of an environment and their parents, like we're kicking off the Fit for Life 5K run, along with Roy Griggs McDonald's, Caddo Parish schools. We'll be busing kids in to get them out, to get them walking and exercising. And wherever you can get the kids, invite the parents. When we can get the parents to come out with their children, they'll see that need. And as we teach the kids, The parents will learn the importance also, and that's where we pray the change will take place.
Last question, what can you do to help me? Can I get like that?
We have to build you up a little bit.
All right.
I don't want to work out with him. No, I don't want to do that.
That's my girl.
Thank you so very much for bringing this program to Shreveport, and we really appreciate it, the work that you're doing, especially working with the kids. And like Commissioner Williams said, they really need some help in working with the obesity in our youth. I just have one other question. Is Brett Favre coming to that lunch?
Brett Favre?
Yeah.
No, I don't think he'll be at this one. But this guy used to tackle him, so but I'm praying that most of you all will accept the luncheon invitation. Also, you'll be given VIP access badges to all of the events throughout the city that will be coming to you soon. So you'll be able to have access to any and all these events. I want to thank you so much.
Okay.
I got one question.
Yes, sir.
You have Gerald Dawkins, and you said the kids from Bossier and DeSoto. What contribution did they make to this program?
Well, this is the...
Don't tell me Gerald Dawkins is giving you the kids. I don't want to hear that, because he didn't have anything to do with that, I don't think. But the rest of them, did they contribute?
Basically, yes, sir. I'm sorry, Mr. Tito. One of the biggest things we got was the school board on a limited budget did come in, and they took care of all the expenses for the busing, and that was a big help. And to bring the kids in from DeSoto Parish, I think is eye-opening, and to get Bossier to come across the river and say that they wanted to be a part of what we were doing was huge. So meeting with the assistant superintendent there and to see how open they were to educate their kids also, I think was just a huge thing.
The bottom line, they didn't give you any money.
None.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. None of the schools, no, sir.
That's what I was trying to find out.
No, sir. No funding that way.
Yeah,
But a lot of in-kind.
Because we had one other group that wanted to do something similar to what you were doing, and I said, well, what is the school system doing? He says, well, they're giving us the kids. What'd you say? I said, my God. We starts today.
Yes, sir.
I just have a question. Was the sports commission able to assist you?
Yes, sir, they were.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'll be some kryptonite if you want to. We up here.
So that's what's going on back here.
I know there's kryptonite for you, but if you're welcome to one.
No, that's okay. Thank you, sir. But the sports commission was a huge supporter.
Thank you. It's good to hear.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you all.
All right, thank you. Administrative report.
Yeah, I was going to challenge any commissioner that wanted to join me on stage for that event for a pose down. I'll skip that part.
David Cox will take you up on it.
Commissioners, good afternoon. Just want to make you all aware that we did get a request from the state legislative auditor about a week or so ago for some information concerning our NGO program. They want to know the address of the NGOs and whether or not they received X number of dollars. I think according to this email, they were concerned whether they received $500,000 or more, or whether or not it was a grant. So we provide them the addresses, and they will contact those agencies. So we don't know why the request was made. We just responded to the request.
Okay.
So I'll make you all aware of that. Okay.
Glad somebody else is looking at it. Yes, sir?
Can we get a copy of what they sent to you? What is the specific issue, the dollar amount, or?
Yes, according to this email, they want to know if any entity on this list are considered vendors or sub-recipients. Please let me know. This is the sender. In the sub-recipient yes or no column, please indicate whether yes or no for the sub-recipients. If no for the entity is not a sub-recipient, if possible, I would like to know if each entity is a nonprofit, not yes or no, and then answer the adjacent columns. I guess they just wanted to know any organization, for example, receive $500,000 or more in public funds, it's required for them to provide an audited financial statement due within 6 months of the agency's fiscal year end.
Let me ask you, do we have any in 2012 that have gotten more than $500,000?
No NGO. No, ma'am.
But ma'am, they also wanted, it's not just a matter of the $500,000 when you receive public dollars that may be considered a grant. in that case, then the legislative auditors has some level of authority on what type of reporting. $500,000 is a full-blown audit, but there's some lower level reportings that may be required, so they wanted to get a understanding of what, how we classify these particular entities, and whether or not they receive, whether or not the monies that are coming from the parish is considered a grant, and we do not consider it a grant. If they're not considered grants, then they don't come under the legislative audit. That's basically what they're trying to determine, what role the legislative auditor's office has in these NGOs since they're getting public dollars.
Oh, okay. And you said we have responded, or we're preparing a response?
We have responded.
Okay.
Back to email.
Yeah, it was just a list of the names, address, the contacts, how much, and then whether or not we consider them to be a subrecipient or a grantee, and we do not consider them to be subrecipients nor a grantee.
Okay, I'd like to get a copy of that as well.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. We'll forward to all the commissioners.
Thank you.
Mr. Lynn?
This ties into just something I wanted to touch base on, but it might be a hair ahead of schedule. On Monday, May the 14th, we're going to have an NGO meeting, and before May the 7th, at our very last meeting, I asked that everybody look at the information that was sent out, which was finding out more about who we're giving the money to, board of directors and such. And so I invite all the commissioners that serve on the NGO committee that if you would please, before May the 7th, get all that information of any changes that you would like to see to Erica. Erica has agreed to take that information to compile it, and with what Mr. Wilson has said, Mr. Wilson and Erica, if there's anything that the state auditor would like for us to see on our NGO application form, that would be the perfect time to introduce it, so that any information that they need the answers to, that we can go ahead and have that on the application form and take care of that business at that time. That's everything. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Williams?
I don't have it.
Just say all you had on your...
Yes, sir. That concludes my report for today, sir.
All right. Any other communiques or committee reports? Mr. Epperson?
Friday, May 4th, 11 a.m., Commission Chamber will be meeting with the Veterans Parade honor ceremony meeting. 11 a.m. Friday, May 4th.
All right.
Yes.
Mr. Bowman?
Yes, I just have a question for Robert. And I think this might be in your district, I'm not sure, but Robert Glass is not here.
Come on up, Ken, or Jimmy. Tim, where you at?
On this annexation notification that we have the letter on,
Yes, ma'am.
through the city of Shreveport, and I'm just only asking this out of curiosity. This development company, LLC, who is the head of that?
Provenance?
Yes.
I think it's David Alexander with Vintage Realty is one of the principals in Provenance.
Okay, because I mean, just reading through this and looking at that map, it's then the north right-of-way line of Southern Loop Road, and then the other one is north. And, you know, with everything that's going on with that, I just want to make sure we weren't being a part of anything we shouldn't. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Mr. Escaday?
I just wanted to give a brief update on the activities that are going on with the Shreveport-Bossier Sports Commission. As you know, one of the first things that all four governmental entities have wanted to see accomplished as soon as possible was that the Sports Commission be able to obtain its own source of funding and stand up on its own, so that we wouldn't have to continue to fund it on a reoccurring basis, with the exception of major events such as the Bassmaster that take more than they can require. We're drafting a resolution that we would submit to all four governing bodies, both in Caddo and both in Bossier, for the following purposes. We're going to ask the state legislature to, get recommended, it'll be coming to you, to allow the local governing bodies, the four bodies, to, if we choose to, increase the hotel motel tax up to a maximum of 2.5% from what it currently is, with the revenues going from that 60% to the Independence Bowl, 40% to the Sports Commission. That would fund the Sports Commission to a level where they could staff up and would not have to come to us for anything that I can imagine that we've done in the past, with the exception of maybe the Bassmasters, and allow them to go after events so that we can bring people into the area 52 weekends out of the year rather than just several weekends. This is just an idea. And we're going to submit the legislation asking the state to give us that authority. Of course, if they grant us that authority, all four of the governing bodies would have to agree to do so, and at one rate. I'm not going to give you a full report because, take up all your time. If we increased it 2.5%, it would add $1.60 to the hotel motel bill on the average room rate here, which, if you get your bill and there's another $1.60 on it, you probably wouldn't notice it. The beauty of this is that 99% of that is paid by our out-of-town guests. It still leaves us very competitive as far as home rates and taxes throughout the state. If you've ever stayed in New Orleans, doesn't matter what your rate room is, by the time you get that 18% tax and the $35 a night for parking, you got a $200 bill, $250 bill. So anyway, this is just the best option that we have come up to fund the Sports Authority without asking for new tax, without subsidizing it from current tax revenues, and ideally letting the same people we're trying to get back every weekend in and out, let them fund it. So that resolution will be forthcoming for your consideration, and hope you look at it, be happy to discuss it with you. We're also going to seek other legislation. We've asked the state to give us 2.5% back of the revenue that the state gets from the casinos up here, which they're not going to do. I mean, we're asking them to give up something, so they're not going to do that. The proposal that I just mentioned to you with the increase in the hotel motel tax is something that they're not getting, so there's nothing for them to lose. We're also thinking about asking them to present legislation in Baton Rouge that will require the casinos to pay the hotel motel tax here locally on their comped rooms. They don't do that right now. If they give away 10,000 comp rooms a night, we receive no revenue. There's two problems with that. One, it puts people who aren't in casinos, who have hotels and motels, at a discompetitive advantage. They can't do that. And then secondly, it just may not be fair. But anyway, this is just what's been going on there. We're working with the Louisiana High School Athletic Association to wrestling tournament here back and several other events. And we have, as Mr. Superman indicated, we've helped a great many people who are sponsoring local events, weekend events, things like that. They're very active in helping and assisting those, and just wanted to give you an update on where that's at. Thank you.
Mr. Cox?
Stephen, you here? Can I see you up front? I need a clarification on something.
Pretty creative.
Give me the definition of signage on the side of a building compared to graffiti.
What?
Signage versus graffiti.
You're talking
Case
about,
in point, there is a Jewella and Ringwood Road.
okay,
At a corner store has painted his whole side of his building. It looks like a railroad car going down the road. And he's got cigarettes so much and pipes so much, T-shirts so much. Don't we have a law or ordinance that states that you must have proper signage and you can't paint on the side of the wall?
David, you can listen.
we have some size requirements for all of our building signs, and what we can do is look to see if it's in compliance. What's the location of that?
He's right behind Popeyes. You can't miss him. You can't miss the building.
10-5.
Okay, on Jewella?
Yes, sir.
right across the street from the service station, and it's got a shoe time next door to it.
Okay. We'll double check, make sure it's in compliance.
Just give me a call or shoot me an email.
I sure will.
Because it looks like trash.
We'll go right on it.
Thank you.
Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question is directed to the administration. I just want to know the status of our economic development joint venture with the city of Shreveport. Where are we at on that as of now?
I sent you all an email about a week ago.
Right.
And did suggest to the chairwoman to call a meeting so y'all can take a look at the cooperative endeavor agreement and provide your comments before we go final with it. And that's where we are.
Me and to carry it one step further, Commissioner, I met with Commissioner Baker and Mr. Dodd Monday, I think, Commissioner, or
Thursday.
Oh yeah, today's Monday.
Today's
Thursday. And we've got a few changes we're making to it, but they'll be done in anticipation of, or in advance of her meeting on Thursday.
Meeting is Thursday, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, also I want to commend the Industrial Ward 2, that's in your district, Mr. Dominic. I just want to commend that, the vision of how important economic development is in Northwest Shreveport, that being the gateway, and we need to be proactive and not reactive when it comes to economic development, prosperity in North Shreveport. It may come a point where we have to have a North Shreveport Metropolitan Planning Commission to plan for the future for what's going on up north. There's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of great things getting prepared, getting ready to start in North Shreveport, and I think we need to be on the brink of change on the front side, and I just want to commend what has happened up there this past week. Thank you.
Mr. Dominic.
Yes, say some of the stuff I was going to say, that if y'all saw the news, the Caddo Ward 2 Industrial Park, which is about a 1,000-acre park, was designated a certified site. It's one of the very few sites in the state. It was a really big event. I wanted to thank Mr. Wilson and Commissioner Thibodeau, Commissioner Escaday, and also Mr. Hopkins came up to that and was a part of the announcement. And there are a lot of nice things going on in the area in the Ward 2 Park, and just want to appreciate you guys coming up to North Caddo for the support. And I guess no one told Commissioner Cox that they were having a fish fry, so.
I was working, I'm sorry.
No, that's prophesied.
Yes. You took my slack though, right?
I did.
Okay.
Ms. Lynch?
I had a couple of questions. On the changes to the economic development cooperative endeavor agreement, were those changes that the commission wanted, or were those some cosmetic legal changes?
Those are changes that Mr. Dodd and Commissioner Baker and I talked about. I don't know how to characterize them any further. The first draft was done by Mr. Dodd, and I reviewed it and just went over several issues with them, and we met for 30 minutes or so and just decided to make some changes to it in advance of the meeting on Thursday. Nothing substantive, nothing having to do with the relationship of the city to the parish and the endeavor or anything like that.
It was cosmetic, adding and subtracting.
Okay, well, the copy that we got from Woody does not have that information on it, so
No,
we
he's
can...
getting it ready for Thursday.
Okay, so can we get it in advance of the meeting?
Where all the pictures at? I'll do my best, Commissioner. My problem is I'm either going to be able to get it to you by noon tomorrow, or else I won't be able to do it much in advance because I got to run to Baton Rouge tomorrow afternoon, and I'm waiting on someone else to use it. But I'll do my best.
Okay. All righty. On the Commissioner Escaday was talking about on the Sports Commission, I'm hoping that that'll actually go to committee, because I do have some other questions on that as well. Whenever at the appropriate time. Thank you.
Mr. Alverson?
Mr. Everett isn't here today, right?
No, sir. I'll be glad to entertain any questions, sir, you may have.
Okay,
He is here, but he was working on an emergency that came up.
Okay, I had a call from a resident. There are 3 Great Danes at the intersection of Winter Park and Ann Lovelace in the Timberline subdivision, and they complained and stated that they didn't see any housing for them. So could we maybe have an officer go out and check them out and check their tags and see there's some new residents.
Winter Park and Ann Lovely?
Winter Park and Ann Lovelace on the southwest side of Winter Park.
Okay, we'll take care of it.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes, sir. I just want to thank the commissioners for all the help that you all provided us in getting all the renewals passed.
Amen.
We don't want to take anything for granted and not extend our appreciation for all the things that you have done to make sure that those measures was passed. So thank you so much for helping get that done. We know you worked hard along with the administration and getting that done. And thank the people of Caddo Parish for giving us another 10 years of use of that money, and hope to continue to use it wisely.
Mr. Lynn?
Mr. Wilson, I was going to tell Mr. Everett Harris if he was here, but since in his absence, I'll tell you. Last week I went to the animal shelter probably no less than 7 times, and every single time I went in there, it was professionally handled, clean, spotless. Everybody knew what was going on. They asked for my driver's license to prove that I lived in Caddo Parish before I could drop off an animal, and yes, I sure did.
We ought to hire you down there.
and so it was a very good experience, and so thank you, and thank him for everything that he did.
Do you like the decorum of the place now? How it looks on the outside as well as the inside?
Well, I'd be honest with you, I didn't notice. I noticed a few more plants out front.
The outside is a lot different now. We got an upgrade on the outside.
Okay, I'm sorry for not being more upset than that, but
I know.
slightly depressed delivering the animals there, but I live on a ditch, and it's a breeding factory.
Well, we appreciate the comments, Commissioner Lynn. I'll certainly pass it on to Mr. Harris and his team down at the Animal Services Department. Thank you, sir.
That's all, Mr. President. Thank you.
All right, and this is, I guess, my third and final request. By Thursday, please have turned in any names for the Charter Review Committee or for the MPC. I think this is about the 3rd or 4th time I've asked, and want to be sure everybody has an opportunity to do that if they have a name or anybody who they'd like to put forth for one of those.
How many positions on the Charter Review Committee?
6 on the Charter Review, and I think we have 1 on the MPC that's available. Any old business?
No, sir. Move to new business. Authorize the introduction of local assessment ordinance number 47 of 2012, ordering the construction and improvement of water line within the right-of-way of a portion of Goldsbury Road being located in said lots.
Move Thursday. Second. Ms. Lane?
Yeah, I have a few questions on this particular ordinance. So I want to be clear on what interest of the parish is served by us putting in this water line.
What was the question?
What interest of the parish is served?
Like the reason why? Yes, ma'am?
The interest of the parish that's served is my question.
These 21 houses are in the parish, and currently they're within the area of concern for the water. They have water wells, and they're under the conservation area, so that these would actually take them off of water wells in that area and put them onto city water, which is surface-fed water.
So the personal water wells is, because I think I have an area off Buncombe Road where people are on personal water wells as well.
I'm sure, yes, ma'am.
So that is something that when they buy the house, buy the land or whatever, build a house, you can either choose at that time to be on a water well or to have a line constructed. How does that work?
Not necessarily. You have to have the water infrastructure there. In this case, Goldsbury didn't have water lines running down there from the city. The city at the time wasn't interested, the developer of that community wasn't interested in running water lines and having them be able to be annexed. But since then, with the downturn of the aquifer and the water wells, since they're starting to go dry, have turned into the the conservation area that they have been put under. They have since band together outside of their developer and asked the city to be put on the water. The city has since approved, and y'all as a body has approved to consider paying 10% for anybody that would actually come off of the water wells themselves. So that could be potentially 21 houses getting off of the water wells, and potentially about 9,000 gallons a month being taken off the well as well, off the aquifer.
So the line is going to connect to the city?
That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
So why isn't the city doing it?
Well, the city has done their part. They have approved the tap-in. There's a lot of obligations that go along with it, such as possible annexations, possible other issues that go along with it. The city has approved it, but they are in the parish, so that's why they're coming. And they're also trying to tap into the resource that the commission has asked for, saying that they would pay 10%. We would actually do all the project management of it. We'd make sure that the plans get done, they get approved by the city, they're inspected while it's done, and then after 2 years, they're actually turned over to the city. The city would maintain and control those water lines through forever.
So are they going to be annexed?
Potentially, it could be.
That's the question.
That's up to the city.
That's up to the city. Potentially it's there. Yes, ma'am. And then those residents took that in consideration.
Let me add a couple of things to that. The reason that the commission passed the ordinance was because of the problem we were having with wells. And this particular ordinance dealt primarily with those areas who, A, had problems with their wells and fell within that conservation area that the state set up, and secondly, within an area where city water was available on the perimeter or close to the property. If city water was not available, then we weren't going to pay for any of that. It just so happened that over the last 20 years, city water has gone out that way, and it's as a prerequisite for agreeing to be on city water. And you have to do two things: one, you pay twice the rate, and secondly, you agree to be brought into the city if the city wants that to be done. But I think the primary thing this does for the commission are two things. Number one, we're helping citizens have fresh water, which we said was one of the long-term goals that we were looking at doing in this parish. And secondly, if you take the thousands of dollars that are paid by those property owners and the wells start to dry up, I would think they would have a very legitimate reason to go in and have their houses reappraised, because without water, or with limited water, or with serious water problems, those houses will lose appraisal value very quickly, which means that we lose a lot of property taxes. So all those things combined, I think, are what is involved in this.
So let me ask, on the ordinance, it has a valid petition from over 69%. Is there a certain threshold?
Yes, ma'am. Y'all said 60%. And that's what that is linear footage along the road. We added up linear footage along both sides of the road, and then divided by each lot of the petitioners to get to actually gain the percentage.
I'd like to get a copy of the plans and specifications.
Yes, ma'am.
Listed in here.
They're not finished yet. When y'all approved the resolution last meeting on Thursday, we authorized the start of the plans and specifications. As soon as they were finished, I will get you a copy.
Okay.
Or I could try to gain an advance copy while they're working on them and try to email it to you, whatever you like.
Well, it's saying it's for public view and inspection, and the hearing is going to be on the 17th. So
Yes,
I just
ma'am.
want to make sure.
We'll have the plans done, and I expect to have the plans done and approved through the city before the 17th, so that when after public hearing on the 17th, if it's approved and pushed forward, I'd like to have it out for bids the following Monday.
And let me go back to that resolution 19 on here. It is in our minutes. this is talking about 40%. What's the difference between the resolution 19 and this ordinance 47?
The resolution is just authorizing us to do two things. One is start the design on it, and one is also to get ready to authorize. We have to put it out we have to advertise this ordinance for 15 days.
For? What are we doing different? One says 90%, one says 40%.
I'm not for sure with 40%. I don't have a copy of the ordinance in front of me. The resolution was for paying of 90%, but I'm not with the 40%. I don't know.
I may have an answer to that, Commissioner. When I believe those documents were prepared by Mr. Glass, and this procedure for which is brand new for these water line installations, is basically following the same procedure we were required to do on a 60/40 road program, and I would imagine that was just an error on his part, leaving that 40% in there, because he was kind of just copying.
Okay, so this resolution that was passed says 40%.
That should be wrong.
The resolution that I'm looking at, 19, says that the Goldsboro residents will pay 90% and the parish will pay 10%. I don't know what the ordinance reads, but...
Well, I'm just looking at the minutes. I'm looking at the minutes, Todd, and I don't know, because I wasn't here to see the paperwork. But the minutes for Resolution 19 has, in the second paragraph, 40%. So do we know exactly what we passed? On the April 19th.
On the original, I think it was 60/40, but we had it changed to 90/10.
Our copy of Resolution 19 doesn't say 40% anywhere. It says the parish of Caddo 10%. The copy we're looking at.
The second paragraph, the one I'm looking at, the second paragraph also has 69% of the road frontage. Is that how it reads?
She's right.
I just want to be clear on what we passed and what we've advertised.
Why is this against 90/10? Because these are the minutes. Oh, yeah, okay.
The ordinance speaks.
Okay, so the minutes are wrong?
Well, that's the resolution, that's the resolution we had. It's wrong.
Are you saying that the minutes are wrong or the resolution is wrong?
I'm saying the resolution is inserted into the minutes, so that is wrong. The 40%. This is the minutes of the resolution.
Okay, so what did we pass? That's what I'm trying to be clear on.
90/10.
90/10.
19. We passed resolution 19. Which is that?
90%
You're looking at.
90% landowners and 10% cattle parish.
Charles, do you understand what I'm asking? Because I'm not sure if I'm getting the right answer.
I do, Commissioner Lynch, and I'm sitting here looking at it. The 40% that you referred to is in a whereas clause. This is in the context of the resolution that basically went through one of the legal steps, which is to give the notice to the public of what's about to happen. I don't view the error in the whereas clause as affecting the legality of moving forward, because what the people are going to end up paying is 10%, not the 40%. They're going to be paying less than what was in the notice, because that's what the commission's already decided by ordinance is going to be paid. So you're absolutely right that there's an error in the whereas clause, but it doesn't seem to me that it would have any legal effect in light of...
well, I mean, the notice has to be consistent.
Well, the part that you're talking about says that it erroneously says that the property owners out there have agreed to pay 40%. But you'd have to think about
But
a little more.
ambiguity is in the favor of the
The notice we sent out
So I wanna
actually
make
says
sure.
90/10.
Okay. All
We
right,
sent
I
that
just want to
notice.
make sure nobody's going to be able to come back and say, they have to pay 40%. Because if there's ever a dispute or some ambiguity or some difference in the two, it's going to be in the favor of the other party and not the parish. So how do we need to fix that?
I don't think we need to. There's a middle ad.
Do we need to fix it?
I don't think so.
Okay, I
ma'am.
just want to make sure. Okay. I guess my last question on this is, back to the resolution 19. When you look at 47 and what was advertised for 19 as far as the actual lots, one was left off. Shadow Pines Estates Unit 2. On here it's got Lot 4 included, and on the resolution Lot 4 is not on here.
I will look into that. I'm not familiar with that right off the top of my head, but I'll look into that. Lot 4, number 2.
Shadow Pines Estates Unit 2. The resolution doesn't have Lot 4, but the ordinance does.
Get it, I can add it up.
And Ms. Lynch, it could be, just for note, it could be that we originally had a resolution 16 that was sent.
And that's what I think is happening as commissioners. We've got when the resolution was approved, 19 was approved, what
They received 16.
The clerk asked for us to send, I think we sent the wrong ordinance back to put in your minutes. So I think if you had the actual ordinance the actual resolution I have, it would have the corrected of the 9010 as well as Lot 4 of Unit 2 added in there, because it looks like it's on my copy here that I see Lot 4 in there. I think it's just a matter of the minutes was posted incorrectly due to something that we sent to the clerk's office, sounds like.
Okay, well, we need to make sure whatever information that we're providing to the public is correct.
Yes, ma'am. Well, we sent the actual resolution that was originally
I'm
proposed.
saying, but this has already been, has this been sent to our official journal?
No.
Okay, so we just need to make sure whatever we're advertising,
We'll check it and insert the proper one.
that we're putting the right information. Okay, so this will go to a bid process.
Yes, ma'am.
Through a bid process.
The water line will, we think it's going to go under the $150,000, so we'll send it out for 3 quotes, including any disadvantaged businesses that are out there that do water
Have
lines.
3 quotes yet?
No, ma'am. You haven't authorized us to do that yet, and we don't have a planned set of contracts yet, or planned contract documents, construction documents.
Yeah, but you have to have something, you have not decided yet.
No, ma'am. No, we have
You
an
sent me
idea.
something that had $134,000.
Well, that's just all rough estimate. We know, we'll contact the city of Shreveport, what do water lines normally run for per linear foot. And so we just plugged a number, just to kind of have an idea. The last thing we want to do is kind of tell you it's going to cost one thing and it's something totally different. So, and we had to do that with the citizens as well. When they came forward with a petition, they wanted to know what it was going to cost. And so we had to kind of do some preliminary, we're going to be within 10% of that number. If not, we're hoping we're going to be a little on the conservative side, and it'll come a little cheaper than that. But yes, we definitely try. The last thing we want to do is just walk up here and not have any idea of cost. That wouldn't be very effective of us to do that.
You know how much
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
They have a new name. It's called Disadvantage. They have a new name.
I'm sorry?
They have a new name. They're not Disadvantage.
Okay.
Not beating up on the guys.
I ain't beating up on it. What's the new name?
We got a motion by the chair, second by Mr. Dominic.
Small emergency business.
Cast your vote, please. Passes 11-1.
Authorizing introduction of ordinance 5199 of 2012, amending the budget of estimated revenues and expenditures for the capital outlay fund for Shreveport Green in the amount of $50,000 for Cherokee Park cleanup.
So move it, Chair.
Second. Motion by Mr. Williams, second by Mr. Epperson.
Move it Thursday.
Move to Thursday.
Yes.
Did the thing come up?
Any Mr. Lynn and Ms. Lynch?
I was hoping to ask a question
Oh.
before we voted. I
I
had a
didn't-
request.
There was no names up here when I...
We could
Go ahead.
The question that I have is that there's been posed the question of if this is legal to fund or not, and I was wondering if we could get a report from the Attorney General before we vote to approve something. If I'm going to vote to approve something, I want to vote to approve something that's legal rather than vote to approve something that's illegal and then it come back on us and say, well, why didn't you find out if that was legal?
Ms. Payphone, go ahead.
Mr. Lynn, I think in order to have, what the Attorney General is going to have to rule on is the legality of the cooperative endeavor agreement that we negotiated with Shreveport Green. We don't really have anything to submit to them now. I had some experience with one of these things a couple of years ago where the Attorney General basically said we don't give opinions on hypotheticals. It would be my recommendation, if it's the will of the Commission to proceed with the project, to go ahead and legislate its authorization, and then when we do the cooperative endeavor agreement, I mean, the way the ordinance is now drawn up, it contemplates the seeking of an Attorney General's opinion, and I will tell you now that assuming the ordinance passes, we will submit a cooperative endeavor agreement, which is yet to be drawn, to the Attorney General for approval. And until we get the approval back, or unless we get the approval back that it's okay, it will never be executed.
Okay, and I think the word in question was, is it legal for the parish to spend parish money on removing trash out of people's private property within the city limits?
Well, as I've mentioned before, particularly to Commissioner Williams, this does present some legal challenges. Because on the one hand, we generally, the public can generally not go on to private property to make improvements, but there are exceptions to it. For example, we can go on to private property to remove dilapidated and dangerous structures and that sort of thing. And under that statutory scheme, that of course, you can attach the cost to the property in the form of a lien. There are some public safety issues that have been espoused about this, and so as I've told Commissioner Williams, I think there is I think the cooperative endeavor agreement can be drawn in such a way that it presents the legal issue plausibly, but whether or not the Attorney General would give it favorable approval or not, I don't know. It's a very close issue that involves what I would call Attorney General's opinions that are more or less on different issues. It's just a difficult legal issue, which is why I'm recommending that before we go forward with this, assuming that this is the political will of the Commission, that we get the Attorney General to issue an opinion on it.
Is the intent to clean this personal property up, then to file a lien against the property owners for them to reimburse the parish?
That's not my understanding.
Okay. Thank you. That's all, Mr. President.
All right, Ms. Lynch.
Let me ask you, because the money that's being appropriated is being appropriated to a nonprofit, correct?
Yes.
To do what they do
Clearing, grubbing, yes.
all over the city.
You're right. Pretty much.
That's what the ordinance contemplates, is that the money would go in the form of a contract to Shreveport Green.
Right.
So I guess I'm just trying to figure out what's the issue.
The issue is paying public funds to improve private property. And Commissioner Lynch, I don't know.
So the ditch is private property?
Some of it is.
I have not independently researched this, but I understand that part of the property, part of the ditch is private property, if not all of it. Some of it is also in Bossier Parish, which creates another issue. So there's just several legal issues that need to get worked through before
we'll know for sure that we can go forward with this.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Williams?
Taking the chairman, I think we will allow it to go through on Thursday. I think we can answer a lot of the questions being asked today. I feel that our legal attorney is trying to iron out all the questions you may ask regarding the integrity and the character of this ordinance. However, there is an issue called the quality of life in the state of Louisiana. That issues such as this allow the Shreveport Green to do what they do. Could continue to try to answer all the questions right now. I don't think you can get the full accreditation you would like to, so you can make an intelligent decision based on the facts, if you allow us to put it on the agenda to Thursday. But bear in mind that snakes do come out in April and March. Those are children up there, and those are senior citizens. These are the same people that voted for this tax renewal that we just passed. These are taxpayers that voted for this tax renewal that provide the tax services that we so operate on in the parish. And we have met to and fro with the city of Shreveport. This is not something that will be ongoing every year that we're asked them to do. This is a one-time event to get it back in good conditions, conditions where the people can live in a safe community. I don't feel that that I don't want to do anything illegal up here at all. I don't want to do anything like that up here. I think we've been good stewards of the taxpayers' money. I also got to find creative ways to help people. I think we have the knowledge. We have competent leadership up here with our parish attorney and our administration. I feel they can have ways where we can challenge the legal muster that come before this body. In the city of Shreveport, I feel that they should be done more, and what they should do, step up to the plate. However, I feel they're not doing what they should do to help the taxpaying citizens in that area. We can sit here all day and talk about why we should not do something, who's responsible for that, and then and that. And all they have to take is one child get bit or one old lady get bit by a snake or a water monster, then we'll be going to be saying. But I do know that these people do pay taxes. They're middle-class income people up there. And they have bought into the concept, well, we want to hold them accountable. I don't feel we're going to be exactly on private property. I feel we'll be mostly cutting around that water area where the water is, not so much on people's property. Like I told you, I don't want to do anything to create a sign that we're doing something illegal or not by the rules and regulations. So hopefully we will allow it to go through Thursday, due process, and we can have further discussion on the Thursday next agenda. At least it take it 14 days to lay over anyway. Just allow due process, and some of the questions you have, I think we can get those answers for you. Thank you.
I believe I'm next on here. I'm going to vote to let it, I'm going to vote to go to Thursday for the simple reason there are a lot of questions to be answered. And some of those would be that, number one, the total cost, as I understand, there was an estimate done by the parish, and the total cost to clean this up was much higher than $50,000. I'd like to know before we vote, what part of it is actually is in the city limits, what part of it does the levy board have any responsibility over, and what part of it is actually in Bossier Parish, if at all. And in the meetings that we've had to discuss how this might be taken care of, one of the big questions is, since this appears to be private property from the middle of the ditch all the way up to the person's backyard, what are going to be the responsibility of the homeowners? What are they going to do? Because if it's their property, they allowed it to get this way. And so if we or anyone else goes to clean it up, I think they need to have some responsibility in the cleanups. We have a lot of cleanups around the parish and the city, and in every single case, the neighborhoods that are served are involved in the cleanup. They don't just sit on the back porch and watch somebody else do it. So I hope that neighborhood will take a very active part in whatever cleanup takes place.
Absolutely.
And so those are some of the questions I'm going to be looking for, but I think we need to let it move on to Thursday, and at least that's my opinion. Mr. Cox?
from what I gather, the homeowners associations over in that area is all behind the cleanup. Sometimes we just have to overlook certain issues and do what's right. And then tell the homeowners association and the city and everybody that's involved from the levee board on down and say, we did our part. Now it's up to y'all to keep it clean. And give them a hand up. I'll support this to move to Thursday, and I'll support it when it comes up for a vote. But sometimes you have to overlook and get this thing done. I went by there and I looked at it, and yeah, it's a mess. And it didn't get like that overnight. But there again, if they take the city, the parish, Shreveport Green, and everybody does their part, get this thing cleaned up, give it back to the homeowners and say, okay, we did our part, you do yours, don't come back.
Amen, that's right.
Thank you.
Well, I think that was said to him last time. Mr. Lynn?
I just need to take note, yes, I will move this to Thursday, and I did want to let everybody know that Dixie Garden Neighborhood this coming Saturday will be doing their annual cleanup. Every single year they do a cleanup where they bring everything out and it gets hauled off, and so the neighborhood is gathering together on an annual basis to clean up, and it'll be this coming Saturday all day. That's all, Mr. President.
Right. Cast your vote, please. Move to Thursday. That's 12-0.
Authorizing introduction of ordinance number 5200 of 2012, amending the budget investment revenues and expenditures for the Riverboat Fund for the American Legion Post number 14 in the amount of $6,300 for students to attend Louisiana Boys Day.
Recommend move forward to Thursday.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Jefferson, second by Ms. Baker. I see no speakers. Cast your vote, please. It's 12-0. Move to Thursday.
Authorize resolution number 22 of 2012, providing for the canvassing of returns and declaring the results of the special election held in Caddo Parish, Louisiana on Saturday, April 21st, 2012, to authorize renewal of special taxes therein.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Glenn. Second by Mr. Dominic. Ms. Lynch.
Mr. Wilson, can you get somebody to break these results down by district, please? Thank you.
All right, cast your vote, please. 12-0 to move to Thursday.
Authorize resolution number 23 of 2012, notice of intention to construct and improve a water line within the right-of-way for a portion of Split Oak and Green Oak Drives being located in a portion of lots 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 21, 22, 23, and 24.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Dominic.
I moved in global remaining items being 6, 7, 8, 9, together with the two resolutions to Thursday, please.
Hey, Ms. Lynch, and then we can vote on the global. Ms. Lynch, I have you now.
Yeah, I have a question on resolution 23. Now, are we going to take these like we do the oil and gas leases, case by case through committee, or what? How are we gonna do these? Because this is a new one. I know the one previously went through committee. Or as they come up, are we going to continue to run those through the committee, or is
I don't think that this one, I don't think it went to committee. I think what we said in the ordinance was that it would go to Public Works, and then they would determine if all the requirements of the ordinance had been met, and then they would bring it to the full commission.
Okay. So the one that we did before was the first one, only this water,
right?
Whatever. So then after that, everything will run through them. Run through Public Works and then to the commission.
Right, then it comes to the commission. That's probably because they have to decide if all the prior responsibilities of the ordinance have been met before we even look at it.
Let me ask you, because, I know they have a lot of personal water wells down there. So, is this something that we're going to end up doing all of Southeast Shreveport or what, before it's over?
I had no idea. All I can tell you, we've had meetings with 300 or 400 people show up, and I think we've only done this for Well, as you saw, I think for 21 in this first one, and then this is the second one. But it has a lot to do with where the city water lines run.
Jason.
It has to be running adjacent to the subdivision.
So are any of these, and I know it says abutting the lots, but is it all in the right of way, or do they have to go on private property to construct the water line? How does that work?
I think all this goes through Caddo Parish right away.
Yes, ma'am, all these ones should be installed on Caddo Parish right away.
Right.
Okay. Let me ask you the other question that I had, and I think I asked this last time when we were talking about the payment that's due. B says 20% down, 4 years, I think. 10% down if you want to go 9 years. And it seems like that should be in reverse. Like if you're going to stretch it out longer, you should pay more down than less.
That was something that y'all agreed to.
And who is y'all?
The commission agreed to. That was the commission that agreed to the ordinance early on. I think that goes back to the normal 60-40.
Yeah.
They went to the committee.
And in this case here, the majority of them are going to pay for it up front.
I got that part, but my question is, and maybe I should be asking the finance guru over there. Less down, 20% down 4 years, less down for a longer period.
It's because of the payback. You're trying to pay the same amount of principal back over 5 years as, when I say 5, the first year is at 20% down. Whereas on the 10 years, you only need 10 because you're stretching it out. In essence, the principal payment is the same each year, beginning with your down payment. And so for 10 years, your first down payment, that's the 10%, and every year after that, it's until you get to the 100% of the principal.
Can I get this same deal at the bank?
You know, but we did mirrored it after the 60-40 program, the current program that we have in place where the residents are paying 40% of the cost of a road, and how we build them is the same process. You put 20% down.
It's the same terms?
It's the same term, same process, and then once the project is complete and we get the amount of expenses, we bill the individual property owners and then set up a payment plan for each one of those.
So we're trying to help out the citizens then, okay? I can go with that. I had another question. Hold on one second. Oh, about the lien on the property. So for how are they going to pay the 90%? At what point is that paid? And who are they paying that to?
We pay it to Ms. Bryant's office.
Okay. So is that before construction starts or after construction is completed, or what?
That's once we can't determine the amount until it's complete, so we can see the.
When all the costs come in, we know what the final bill is, and that's when we bill.
We'll have another ordinance after the process was one resolution, and 2 ordinances. When we're finished with it, we'll have another ordinance of assessment where we'll break down who's going to pay what. Because in some cases, the majority is going to be paid for up front, and then we'll have whatever lots that we're going to have to put liens against. We'll come back before you with those. With that.
So the work will be done, then we'll determine what's their 90% is, and they send us a check.
That's correct.
Okay, what if they don't send it?
That's when we'll be back with another ordinance assessing those particular lots that didn't come forward with their money.
Local assessment. And there'd be a lien on the property. A lien on the property. A lien will be put.
So if your portion is, I don't know, $100,000, or it won't be $100,000, but say $60,000. Okay. And if they don't pay the 90%, we just file a lien, which, unless they sell the house, basically, then it just sits there.
Well, we reinscribe those just like on the 60-40s before they reach their 10th birthday. Because the lien would prescribe at its 10th birthday, but we come back and see y'all to reinscribe those, and it gives it another 10 years. So we'll keep reinscribing them until eventually the house is going to sell or they're going to pay it off.
And we continue to follow up with those, the persons that have the loans. We send letters, we contact them. The majority of the property owners pay the bill.
I know we got
in any situation where you have a loan and you have receivables, obviously you have some people that don't pay, but the vast majority, and from my experience, have paid back the money.
Well, I know we got a report some years ago on the 60/40 program. I'd like to get an updated one on people that, we had worked out payment agreements with, and which ones we had to reinscribe and all of that. I mean, it was probably 5 or 6 years ago. How is that going?
That would need to come from finance.
Yes, ma'am. We can take care of that.
Oh, okay.
We can show you.
Once construction's completed, Public Works is pretty much out
So
of it.
in about 3 months, then I'd like to get a report, on when this is finished, who's paid their 90%. Thank you.
Mr. Lynn?
President Thibodeau, on behalf of the neighbors of the Goldsberry Circle, I want to thank you for all the work that you've done to provide them with water, and as a commissioner, I want to thank you for keeping those houses assessed at $500,000 so that they wouldn't have to be reassessed at $50,000 because they did not have water for
So
their
they
homes.
won't move to Bossier.
Thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Lynn. Cast your vote, please.
We have consent agenda.
Move it, John.
I thought we were adjourned.